The Lakers have signed free agent center Jaxson Hayes, and we're breaking down all the Lakers free agent signings from Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, Jaxson Hayes, Cam Reddish, Rui Hachimura is back. What's the latest on D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reaves? That's coming up next here on Lakers 24/8. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Lakers 24/8 YouTube channel for all the latest Lakers news and rumors all year long. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And as always, I have the Lakers 24/8 question of the day. What are your thoughts? What is your reaction so far to the Lakers this offseason? What is your grade? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know down below. And for all the latest Lakers news, head over to alllakers.com. We've got some big breaking news to get into. Austin Reaves is going to be back with the Lakers. So after months of speculation on his contract and offer sheets and figures, he's going to be back in the purple and gold. Shams Charania just tweeted, RFA Austin Reaves has agreed to return to the Los Angeles Lakers on a 4-year, $56 million early bird maximum contract, sources tell The Athletic. Agents Aaron Riley and Reggie Berry of AMR Agency negotiated the new deal to keep Reaves in LA long term. According to Dan Wokey of the Los Angeles Times, the 4th year of Reaves' deal is a player option, and Charania added that the deal contains a 15% trade kicker and the max advance allowable as well. Now, if you look at his cap hits for 2023 and 2024, it's at $12.02 million, 24-25, $12.98 million, 24 and 26, $13.94 million, and 26-27, $14.9 million. So that's $400,000 less this season had he signed that big offer sheet. So the Lakers are now $1.3 million below the tax and $8.2 million below the hard cap with 13 players after they signed Maxwell Lewis to that rookie minimum. So the Lakers, they're in good shape, and really this comes down to the fact that the Lakers, they made it known around the league that they were going to match any offer. They really softened the market on Austin Reaves. There were some people out there that said, hey, maybe a team like the Rockets or a team like that, the San Antonio Spurs, they go out there, offer him $80 million and force the Lakers to match that. Well, that wasn't the case. Reaves is back. This was an essential re-signing by Rob Pelinka, and I think Rob Pelinka absolutely did his job because, look, let's be honest. Austin Reaves, Hillbilly Mamba, LeBron James, he's the 3rd best player on the Lakers right now behind LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It was essential to bring him back. He earned his money, and also give credit to the Lakers scouting for getting him in purple and gold and having this guy develop into one of the better players in the league. So I think it's a fair deal for him as well, and it's great to see him get paid. But Austin Reaves is back in purple and gold, and yes, we knew it was going to happen. Yes, this was a formality. We fully expected it, but now that it's official, I think we just feel a little better right now in Lakerland. But next, let's dive into the Lakers' most recent signing in Jaxson Hayes. It was reported earlier this morning that the Lakers had agreed to terms with Jaxson Hayes. It's a 2-year deal, most likely on the vet minimum. The Pelicans, they did not extend the qualifying offer to Hayes that would have made him a restricted free agent. Of course, this is a guy that had a lot of hype surrounding him when he was drafted with the number 8 pick out of Texas in 2019. He has the athleticism. He has the potential. He just hasn't reached that potential. But I think this guy could absolutely be an upgrade to Mo Bamba. He could be that backup center. He could provide that depth. Hey, he could even be that 2020 JaVale McGee, because if you look at what he brings to the table, a mobile and athletic center, he can switch onto 5 positions. I think this is a really good signing, especially at the vet minimum. I think he could thrive with the Lakers. If I were him, I would call Phil Handy and say, meet me in El Segundo at 5 a.m. sharp and get 500 shots up and just continue to develop his game. I think for him, if you look at the differences between him and Mo Bamba, I absolutely think this is a guy that can help the Lakers in a big way. He has better size, strength, energy, athletic ability. He's younger than Mo Bamba, so I think there is more of an opportunity for some growth there, and I definitely think there's a lot of untapped potential. But on the flip side, there's also a reason why the Pelicans didn't extend him that qualifying offer, and there definitely are some cons. Now, what are those cons? Well, 1, he's not a great rebounder. 2, doesn't have a wide array of post moves. 3, needs to improve his touch around the rim, and 4, has had some off-the-court issues. There's really no way to sugarcoat this, but Hayes was sued for assault and battery by his former girlfriend in 2022 and pleaded no contest to charges of false imprisonment and resisting an officer after resisting arrest during a domestic violence call involving the same woman during the summer of 2021. Per the Associated Press, Hayes was sentenced to 3 years of probation, 450 hours of community service, and a year of weekly domestic violence classes. So he's definitely dealt with it. He's admitted to it, and hopefully the LA lifestyle is not going to impact him in a negative way. So yes, are there some flaws? Are there some potential red flags? Absolutely. But on the same token, that's why you can get a guy like this with this upside, with this potential on a league minimum. That is why you take a flyer on a guy like this. But how about this? The Lakers now have the number 8, 9th, and 10th picks in the 2019 draft. You have Jaxson Hayes, you have Cam Reddish, we'll talk about in a second. And then, of course, you have Rui Hachimura, who is back in purple and gold. So, yeah, I think the other way of looking at this, if you want to be a little skeptical, is say, hey, there's a lot of projects on this team. There's a lot of guys that you took a flyer on hoping that you're going to maximize and optimize them. Are you going to hit on each of them? That's the big question. But on that kind of deal with that kind of potential, that's a no-brainer. I love his athleticism for a guy that size. It's absolutely elite. He can change ends too. He can also catch and shoot 3. So I'm definitely for this move for the Lakers. I'm just hoping that he can really get a fresh start, stay out of trouble, and focus on being the player that we all thought he was going to be coming out of Texas back in 2019. But next, we have to talk about the most unexpected signing, the signing that no one saw coming, the signing that wasn't on anyone's Lakers 2023 free agency bingo card, and that is the signing of Gabe Vincent, the former UCSB Gaucho, UC Santa Barbara. He's back in Southern California, and the Lakers will use nearly their entire $12.4 million mid-level exception to sign Gabe Vincent. And now with that and the biannual exception they used to sign Taurean Prince, the Lakers are hard capped. They're hard capped below the $172.3 million first apron after signing those two players. And now I saw a lot of Laker fans out there that were disappointed in this signing because they wanted Bruce Brown, who ended up signing with the Pacers at $20 million a season. They wanted Brook Lopez. That most likely wasn't going to happen. But Gabe Vincent is a guy that can absolutely play a key role for this team. And you saw what he was able to do with the Miami Heat. Now, if you look at his regular season numbers from last season with Miami, they won't blow you away at all. He averaged 9.4 points per game, shot just 33.4% from beyond the arc in 68 games. So you want to see him improve that three-point shot percentage in the regular season. But half of those games were off the bench. So he's comfortable coming off the bench, playing a different role. And in the playoffs, that's where he stepped up. That's where he made his mark. And that's where he made his money and got himself the bag that he got with the Lakers. The 9.4 points per game, that jumped up to 12.7 points per game. He shot 37.8% from beyond the arc. He was also a guy that made tons of mid-range shots. Last year, he had 50% of his 143 mid-range shots. That ranked in the 91st percentile among combo guards. So that's definitely something that the Lakers can play to. They can use those strengths, and he's a guy that can absolutely just be a glue guy on a championship-level team. I mean, you're talking about that Miami Heat team that went up against a juggernaut in the Denver Nuggets, but they were throwing punches and landing them until the very end, and Gabe Vincent was a big reason why. Now, one question you may have is if Gabe Vincent was so great, why isn't he back in Miami? Why didn't the Heat try to re-sign him? And then also, can he thrive outside the Heat culture? Well, let's answer those questions because, one, the Miami Heat, they did offer him a 3-year, $25 million deal. Pat Riley met with Vincent. They had coffee in Santa Monica. But hey, the purple and gold, $33 million. Yes, you have the tax differences, but I think it still made a lot of sense for him. Of course, he went to college at UCSB up in Santa Barbara, so maybe you want to be back in California. And then two, the Miami Heat, they're already deep into the luxury tax. They didn't want to pay guys. Of course, they have a lot of undrafted free agents, and that's why they have those undrafted free agents for that reason alone. Also, too, it looks like the Miami Heat, they're on the driver's seat when it comes to landing Damian Lillard. I think they're going to swing a trade for Dame time and bring him into Miami. But, yeah, if you look at can he thrive outside of Miami, I think he absolutely can. I think he's a guy that has a defined role for this team. One thing I really liked about him is he can play with different units, different groups, and that, to me, is what I love about it. It's that experience, the versatility. You can play playing with other guards on the roster, and I think that's something that this team desperately needs, especially after you see Dennis Schroeder sign that 2-year, $26 million deal with the Toronto Raptors. So he won't be back. And when you compare him to Dennis Schroeder, I think he has the potential to be a more consistent scorer, especially in the playoffs. And if you compare the two guards, I think if you look at defensively, they both guard. I like Gabe Vincent on defense as well. 3-point shot in the playoffs, you got to give that check mark to Gabe Vincent. I think, too, when you look at him as a free throw shooter, that's usually an indicator as to can they improve their 3-point shooting overall. He absolutely does have that. So I expect that mark to go up in the regular season, especially with the confidence that he built in the playoffs and especially sign that deal. I think this is going to be a deal that's definitely going to be a plus deal. It's not going to be a Kendrick Nunn type signing with the Lakers. I don't see that at all. I think Gabe Vincent, when he brings to the table, he is going to be an asset and a contributor to this team. Also, defensively, like we just said, he can play D. He's got that dog. He's feisty. He's a guy that brings that grit, that tenacity, and that is what you need in the playoffs. Look, there's a reason why Bruce Brown and Gabe Vincent got themselves some nice bags, is because they proved to teams out there that they can get it done on the biggest stage when the lights are bright in the playoffs. Not all players can perform in the playoffs. These two players, they have proved that they can, and they've also proven that they can play a role in a championship level team, and teams see that, and that's why these guys are going for a premium. And also, look at what Eric Spoelstra had to say about him. He said he has the emotional stability to handle different roles that not every player in this league can accept. He can play off the ball. He can play on the ball. He can play as a little bit more a scorer. He can be made more of a facilitator if we have our full health. Those kind of guys are so invaluable in this league. So that to me screams glue guy. That to me screams a Lakers team that wants to squeeze one more ring out of LeBron James and Anthony Davis and crack open this championship window as wide as it can for the next 2 seasons. So I like that move. I also, too, consider the fact that on top of everything else, the Lakers are expected to bring back D'Angelo Russell. So if you're going to get Gabe Vincent and not bring back D'Angelo Russell, maybe you question this move. Maybe you say, yeah, it's a little high for a player of that caliber. But when you consider they are most likely going to bring back D'Angelo Russell, I definitely like this move. I'm going to give it a B, not an A, but I'll give it a B. Like I said, you want to improve that regular season 3-point shooting. Downtown the postseason, he was getting it done. But I think overall, this is a move that you feel good about, especially when you consider the fact that Jovan Bua, he tweeted, I'm hearing the Lakers still have interest in re-signing D'Angelo Russell, who has been their third priority behind retaining Austin Reaves and Rui Hachimura. The Lakers signing Gabe Vincent likely signals that Dennis Schroeder won't be back in Los Angeles. Of course, that was before Schroeder ultimately signed with the Raptors. So, 1, you're getting Gabe Vincent back. 2, you're getting D'Angelo Russell back. And I think he is more than capable of being a serviceable playmaker, a guy that is going to have those high flashes during the regular season. And hopefully he can find a way to turn things around defensively. You don't want to see memes being made where he's a human cone, right? So that definitely is the hope. But I like this signing. A tough, gritty, championship level DNA type player. I like that. But next we got to talk about another wing that the Lakers signed. Look, the Lakers went to the restaurant. They got the menu. They said, let's get all the wings. Give me all the wings. And they end up bringing in Cam Reddish. Now, it feels like the Lakers have been linked to Cam Reddish for a decade now. The Lakers were linked to him when he was coming out of Duke back in 2019. Their name was always linked to him in trade rumors when he was Atlanta, when he was with the Knicks. But finally, he's on the Lakers. And of course, you know, there's the Clutch connection. We've seen what this organization has done with Clutch reclamation projects, from Kendrick Nunn to Montrezl Harrell to Lonnie Walker last year. Well, Cam Reddish, he's the latest example. Now, is he a bust? I'm not ready to go that far. I think if you look at athletically what he brings to the table, he's 6'8". He has the wingspan. He's athletic. But I just have my doubts about Cam Reddish. But I think that there's an organization that can find a way to optimize him and get him to realize his potential. Hopefully it's the Lakers. Like I said earlier about Jaxson Hayes, you also called Phil Handy early in the morning and say, meet me in El Segundo at 5 a.m. and let's get about 600 to 700 shots up and start getting to work. But like I said, 6'8", athletic, and he's someone that has the potential to be a player. Now, production-wise, it just has not been there. Look, he's never shot above 45% in his career in an entire season, so his shooting percentages have been low. Also, his team just hasn't performed well with him on the court. Teams have been outscored by 14 points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor over the course of his career. That's abysmal. That's bad. That says, hey, this is a player that's not going to help you win big. But I think he definitely needed a change of scenery. He needs to be around guys that can find a way to give him confidence and be that player that a lot of people thought he was going to be when he was coming out of Duke. So you want to see him improve offensively, that skill set, get that confidence back, and hopefully with the Lakers on a minimum deal again. So like I said, there's really no such thing as a bad minimum contract. And really what the Lakers are doing is they're saying to themselves, hey, let's get these lottery tickets. And if 2 or 3 of them hit, we've already won big. If one of them hits, they already win big out of Jaxson Hayes and Cam Reddish. So Cam Reddish is a guy that he knows the reputation he has. He knows that people want to label him a bust and that he's not a good fit and he's never going to find it. But with the Lakers, I think being around some of these younger guys, some of these vets, putting on that uniform, and really just being around guys that are going to hold him accountable and make him play defense. If you want to stay on the court, especially with Darvin Ham, you're going to have to play defense. But yeah, the ceiling is still high for Cam Reddish. He still is young. He still has the potential. I'm not so sure I'd bet on it, but I think if any organization can do it, like I said, is the Los Angeles Lakers. And I'm hoping that he takes his opportunity and that he runs with it. And then with their biannual exception, the Lakers used it on another wing. Look, the Lakers are trying to be Lord of the Wings this offseason. They used it on Taurean Prince. And I love using that BAE on Taurean Prince. I think this was a quality sign. This is a guy that could either be a high minutes reserve. You could see him starting games. This is a guy that's a little more 3 than D, but still, I think what the Lakers needed from a three-point standpoint, he's made 38.1% of his three-point shots last season. He has a 37.2% three-point shooting percentage for his career, but he's never played with a playmaker like LeBron James. He's never played with the kind of depth that this Lakers team could have, and I think it was a very smart and sensible move. You get as many wings as you can. He has switchability. You can play him at the 3. You can play him at the 4. I think it was a great signing for the Lakers. And then there's Rui Hachimura. So everyone expected Rui to be back with the Lakers. It was really the worst kept secret in the association. How bad was it? Well, he's scheduled to throw out the first pitch at a Dodger game in July, and we know he's not going to go to the Clippers. So he was going to be back in purple and gold. Well, the Rui turn is official. Shams Charania reported that it's a 3-year, $51 million deal. He's back in LA, $17 million AAV, so that's $1 million less than his cap hold. People were saying anywhere from 12 to 18 million. He ends up at 17 million, and there were some doubts early on. You saw he even got a DNP from Darvin Ham at one point, but the light turned all the way on in the postseason. In the playoffs, he averaged 12.2 points per game while shooting 48.7% from beyond the arc on 39 attempts. And yes, 12.2, that's not overly impressive, but it's the flashes. It was game 1 against Memphis. It was some of the high points that he had where you say to yourself, hey, this guy is still young, and this guy still has the potential to be a core member of a team that could really pursue a championship. And that's what the Lakers saw in him. And I love this fit. I think playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, playing with Phil Handy and how highly he speaks of him, this was a no-brainer move. I also think on top of everything else, he's a charismatic guy. He's got the connections to Japan. We know the Lakers are always thinking about their brand globally, so he checks that box off as well. But I think the biggest keys for Rui are, 1, continue to improve that three-point shot. 2, continue to gain confidence as a scorer. 3, continue to work defensively, because that is how you win. That is how you really take your game to the next level, especially in this organization playing under Darvin Ham, is can you be depended upon on the defensive end? And then 4, I think you also have to play into his skill set. This is a guy that can knock down that mid-range shot, and I think you need to give him opportunities to do that. Don't try to change him as much as, hey, let's do what you do on a great level. Let's keep going with that. So I definitely think that's going to be the biggest key, but glad to see him back. But let me know down below in the comment section, what do you grade the Lakers offseason so far? A, B, C, D, or F? What are your thoughts on Rob Pelinka? Because I think Rob Pelinka has really gained the respect, gained a lot of equity with this Lakers fan base, of course, getting off of Count Bricula and Russell Westbrook and really changing things after the trade deadline, making it all the way to the Western Conference Final. Really an unexpected run by this Lakers team. So let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Laker basketball all season long, Lakers news and rumors, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And until next time, go Lakers.